Have you ever failed and felt like giving up? What if I told you failure is not the end, but the beginning? Denzel Washington says, "Fall forward, not back." Every mistake is a lesson, and every fall can lift you higher. Stay with me, this may change the way you see your life forever. Welcome to Easy English Official. Today, we bring you one of the most powerful and unforgettable speeches by Denzel Washington at the University of Pennsylvania. His message, called Fall Forward, teaches us that failure is not something to fear but something to embrace. Every step, even when it feels like a mistake, can move us closer to success. This video is more than just English practice, it is a chance to change how you see life. As you listen, you will not only improve your English but also grow stronger in your dreams and goals. Denzel's words are filled with wisdom, hope, and energy that can inspire you at any age, in any country, and in any dream you are chasing. Chapter 1: Fear of Failure. Failure is a word that scares many people, but Denzel Washington teaches us that it does not need to be the end of the story. He reminds us that every mistake is proof that you are trying something new. If you never fail, it means you never step outside your comfort zone. Life rewards the brave, not the ones who always play it safe. When we were children, falling down was natural. We tried to walk, we fell, and we stood up again. No one laughed at a baby for falling, because we knew falling was part of learning. Denzel tells us that even as adults, we must keep this same mindset. Every fall is not shameful, it is training for growth. Many people dream small because they are afraid of failing. They choose the safe road, the one with no risks. But Denzel warns that this road may also lead to regret. What if you reach the end of your life and realize you never gave yourself the chance to fly? The pain of regret is heavier than the pain of failure. Failing forward means using your mistakes as fuel. Each failure is like a teacher that shows you where to improve. If you listen carefully, you will discover that every wrong step has a hidden lesson. Without those lessons, true success would not be possible. The people we admire most are usually the ones who failed the most. Denzel himself faced rejection many times before Hollywood opened its doors. He went to auditions where no one believed in him. He lost roles to other actors and felt like giving up. But every time he heard no, he turned it into energy to keep pushing. Today, he stands as living proof that failure is not final. Imagine a life where you never take a chance because of fear. You stay in the same job, the same routine, and the same comfort zone forever. At first, it feels safe, but over time, it feels empty. Denzel wants us to avoid that emptiness by daring to step into the unknown. True joy comes from chasing dreams that scare us. Fear of failure often comes from voices around us. People say, "Don't try, you might fall." Society tells us to avoid risk at all costs. But if you only listen to those voices, you will never discover your true potential. Denzel teaches us to silence the doubt and listen to the dream inside. It takes courage to fail. It takes even more courage to fail again and keep moving forward. Every time you fall, you build resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. And one day, The strength you build from failing forward will carry you to your greatest success. Some people think success comes overnight, but that is a myth. Behind every success story is a long road of trials, setbacks, and disappointments. Denzel wants students to know that failure is not a sign to quit. It is simply a sign that you are on the path where real growth happens. Think about all the inventions we enjoy today. The light bulb, the airplane, the computer. All of them were born through failure. The inventors faced ridicule, rejection, and broken attempts. But they kept failing forward until success arrived. If failure gave them power, why can it not give you power too? Your dreams may look impossible right now, but that is exactly why they are worth chasing. Impossible dreams are designed to test your courage. They force you to grow bigger than your fears. Denzel challenges us not to shrink our dreams to fit our fears, but to expand our courage to meet our dreams. Every time you fall, you are actually moving. Falling forward means you are still going ahead, even if you are not standing tall. This is the heart of Denzel's message. Do not let the fall fool you into thinking you are going backward. You are on the journey, and the journey itself is progress. Failure creates wisdom, and wisdom creates opportunity. If you fall and pay attention, you learn something no book could teach you. That wisdom stays with you forever, guiding you to make better choices. People who never fail often stay shallow, but people who fall forward gain depth. One reason failure is powerful is because it humbles us. When you fail, you realize you are human, just like everyone else. This humility makes you more open to learning. Instead of pretending to know everything, you start asking questions. And every question brings you closer to growth. Falling forward also connects us with others. Everyone fails, and when we admit our failures, people trust us more. No one likes someone who pretends to be perfect. Denzel's message reminds us that honesty about our struggles makes us relatable. Our weakness becomes our bridge to other people. Students at UPenn listened closely because they knew Denzel was not just speaking theory. He was speaking from real life. His failures gave weight to his words. They felt his sincerity, and they believed him. This is why his speech still inspires people around the world, even years later. Failure also teaches persistence. Success might take 10 tries, or 100. Each attempt adds to your story. If you give up after one failure, your story ends too soon. Denzel insists that persistence is the true measure of greatness, not just talent. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move despite fear. Failing forward requires courage every day. Even when your heart shakes and your mind doubts, you step anyway. That step is more important than perfection, because it leads to growth. When we look back at our lives, the moments we remember most are not when everything was safe and easy. We remember the challenges, the risks, the moments when failure was possible. Those are the stories that give us pride. Without failure, there is no story worth telling. Many students think life after graduation will be a straight road to success. But Denzel warns that the road is never straight. It twists, it breaks, and it demands resilience. The key is not to avoid the broken parts but to walk through them with courage. That is where your character is built. Falling forward also means learning to embrace uncertainty. We do not always know where the next step will take us. But if we trust the process, we discover opportunities we never imagined. Denzel's own life is proof that faith and risk often walk together. Some failures are small, like missing a chance. Some failures are big, like losing everything. But all of them can teach us. Denzel says the size of the failure does not matter. What matters is the direction you fall, always forward, never back. Falling forward is also about gratitude. When you fail and still move ahead, you learn to appreciate the journey. Gratitude transforms disappointment into hope. It helps you see that even in the darkest fall, there is light leading you forward. Our culture often celebrates winners but hides the failures behind them. Denzel flips the story and shows that failure is the foundation. The taller the building of success, the deeper the foundation of failure beneath it. Without that foundation, nothing stands. Students left the ceremony with a new vision of failure. Instead of running from it, they could face it with courage. They realized that every fall could become a stepping stone. Denzel gave them a gift that day, freedom from the fear of failing. The truth is, failure never feels good in the moment. It hurts, it embarrasses, it makes us question ourselves. But looking back, we often see that our failures were the best teachers. They shaped us more than success ever could. Every person listening could see themselves in Denzel's story. His words touched not only the mind but also the heart. The message of Fall Forward was universal. It belongs to every dreamer in every corner of the world. That is why his speech went viral beyond the graduation hall. Even now, many years later, people replay Denzel's speech for courage. They face exams, job interviews, or personal struggles, and they hear his voice telling them not to fear failure. That timeless message continues to inspire millions. So the first chapter of this journey is simple yet powerful: do not fear failure. Every fall carries you forward if you choose to learn. Denzel's voice reminds us that falling is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. The only true failure is not trying at all. Chapter 2: Fall Forward. Dreams are the engines that move us forward, but too often, we shrink our dreams to fit our fears. Denzel Washington reminds us that we should do the opposite: grow our courage to match our dreams. When you dare to dream big, you open the door to a life larger than you ever imagined. Safe dreams keep you small, but bold dreams push you into greatness. A small dream asks for no courage. It keeps you in the same place, surrounded by comfort. But a big dream shakes your heart and makes you nervous, because it asks you to leave safety behind. That nervous feeling is not a warning to stop, but a sign that you are on the right path. Courage begins where comfort ends. Denzel speaks from experience when he says that dreams are worth the risk. He dreamed of being more than just another actor. He dreamed of making a difference through his art. That dream carried him through rejection and failure. Without that big dream, he would not have had the strength to keep going. When you dare to dream, you give yourself permission to be more. Many people live their entire lives waiting for permission from others. They wait for approval, for signs, for certainty. But Denzel tells us that the only permission you need is your own. The moment you believe in your dream, it becomes real. Dreams are not about guarantees, they are about possibilities. You may not know how it will happen, but the vision itself is powerful enough to pull you forward. Like a lighthouse in the dark, your dream guides you, even when the waters are rough. This is why dreaming big is so important. It keeps you moving when logic says stop. Some people will laugh at your dreams. They will say you are foolish for aiming so high. But Denzel reminds us that people laughed at every great dreamer before they succeeded. The Wright brothers were told man would never fly, but now we cross the world in hours. Do not let other people's laughter silence your vision. If your dream does not scare you, it is not big enough. Fear means you are stretching beyond what you already know. Fear means you are alive, stepping into a story larger than yourself. Denzel encourages us to see fear as a friend, not an enemy, because fear shows us that the dream is worth it. Your dream should not only be about yourself. Denzel explains that true dreams lift others as well. When you pursue a dream that inspires, it creates ripples that touch the lives of many. Success feels empty if it is only for you, but when your dream serves others, it becomes a legacy. Big dreams demand hard work, but they also give energy in return. When you wake up with a vision larger than yourself, you find strength you never knew you had. The long nights, the sacrifices, the risks, they all become bearable because you know you are working for something greater. Many people stop dreaming after their first big failure. They say, "It's not for me," and they settle for less. But Denzel urges us to keep dreaming, even after falling. A failed dream is not a dead dream, it is simply a dream that needs more time and effort. The dream only dies when you give up on it. Dreaming big requires patience. Some visions take years, even decades, to come true. Denzel's own career was not built in one moment but through years of persistence. When you dream big, you must also learn to wait big, to endure the seasons of silence. Patience turns hope into reality. It is easy to be realistic, to keep your goals small enough that you never risk embarrassment. But realism rarely inspires. No one remembers the person who never tried anything bold. The stories we admire are always of those who dared to dream far beyond what seemed possible. Big dreams challenge us to grow. To reach them, we must become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. The journey itself transforms us. Even if we do not reach the exact dream, we discover that we have become someone greater along the way. That is the hidden gift of dreaming. Some people are afraid to dream because they do not know the how. They want every step planned before they begin. But Denzel says that the how will reveal itself once you take the first step. Do not wait until you see the whole staircase, just climb the first step with faith. Dreams can be lonely. Not everyone will understand why you sacrifice, why you keep going when the road is hard. But loneliness is often the price of vision. Denzel reminds us that great dreams may set you apart, but in the end, they also set you above. Even the world's greatest dreamers faced darkness. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of justice when the world was against him. Nelson Mandela dreamed of freedom from a prison cell. Their stories show us that dreaming big is not about comfort, it is about changing reality. A dream without action is only fantasy. Denzel tells us to not just dream, but to work. The dream gives direction, but your daily effort builds the road. Every small action you take is a brick laid toward your vision. Without work, the dream remains in your head. Dreaming big also means accepting risk. You may lose money, you may face rejection, you may even fail completely. But the greater risk is living a life without trying. Denzel believes that regret is the heaviest weight, heavier than any loss from failure. Better to try and fail than to never try at all. The size of your dream determines the size of your life. If you dream small, your life will stay small. If you dream big, your life will expand beyond your imagination. Denzel wants us to stop limiting ourselves and to realize that we are capable of more than we believe. Sometimes, your dream will inspire others even before it comes true. People will see your courage, your effort, your persistence, and they will be encouraged to chase their own dreams. In this way, your dream becomes a gift, even before success arrives. The journey of a big dream is never smooth. It has hills, valleys, storms, and deserts. But each obstacle is part of the process. Denzel explains that the road is hard because the reward is great. Easy paths lead to small victories, but hard paths lead to lasting impact. Big dreams demand discipline. You cannot drift into greatness by accident. Denzel's career was built not just on talent, but on discipline, showing up every day, practicing, and improving. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Dreaming big will test your faith. There will be days when nothing works, when you wonder if the dream is even possible. But faith is choosing to believe even when the evidence is not there. Denzel teaches that faith and dreams are inseparable partners. Sometimes, your dream will change shape as you grow. That does not mean you failed, it means you are evolving. A dream that matures with you becomes even stronger. Denzel encourages us to remain flexible, to let the dream expand and adapt over time. Dreams often start small. A single thought, a small desire, a quiet whisper in your heart. But with courage, that small seed can grow into a forest. The key is to protect it from doubt until it is strong enough to stand on its own. People often ask if they are too late to dream big. Denzel's answer is clear: you are never too late. Whether you are 20 or 70, as long as you breathe, you can still build something new. The world has seen countless late bloomers who proved that time is not the enemy. Your dream is your responsibility. No one else can carry it for you. If you give it away or wait for others to make it happen, it will die. Denzel challenges us to take ownership of our dreams and protect them with all our strength. In the end, the size of your dream defines the legacy you leave. A small dream may end with you, but a big dream lives beyond you. Denzel wants every listener to understand that the world needs their big dream, because it may light the way for others. So Chapter 2 leaves us with this challenge: do not be afraid to dream big. If you fall, fall forward into the arms of your vision. Let your dream be so large that it frightens you, because fear is proof that it matters. And when you keep moving toward it, step by step, you will create a life that inspires generations. Chapter 3: Dream Big. Life will not always move in a straight line, and Denzel Washington wants us to know that this is normal. The road to success is full of curves, bumps, and unexpected turns. What matters is not how smooth the journey is, but whether we keep walking. Progress is measured by movement, not perfection. When things go wrong, our first instinct is often to stop. We freeze, we question ourselves, and we think about giving up. But Denzel reminds us that stopping is the only real failure. As long as you keep moving forward, even slowly, you are still winning. Every setback is a test of your persistence. Life asks, how badly do you want this dream? If your answer is strong, you will keep moving despite the pain. Every step forward, no matter how small, proves your commitment. Movement is proof of desire. There will be days when you feel tired and hopeless. The mountain ahead will look too high, and your body will beg you to quit. But it is in these moments that growth happens. If you push forward one more step, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Moving forward does not mean you never fall. It means you rise each time you fall. Denzel's own life is proof of this principle. He faced rejection, criticism, and obstacles, yet he chose to rise again and again. His success was built not on avoiding failure but on refusing to stay down. Sometimes progress feels invisible. You keep working, but nothing seems to change. This is where most people give up. But Denzel teaches that unseen growth is still growth. Like a seed underground, your effort is building roots. The results will appear if you do not stop. Moving forward requires faith. You may not see the destination, but you trust that the path will reveal itself. Faith is what carries you when logic says quit. Denzel calls us to hold on to faith as we keep walking, even in the darkest valleys. There will be voices that tell you to stop. Friends may not understand, family may doubt, and society may push you toward safety. But Denzel insists that you cannot live by other people's limits. If you want to reach your dream, you must follow your own path forward. Every great achiever has one thing in common: they did not quit. They faced the same struggles as everyone else, but they chose persistence. History remembers those who kept moving when everything around them said to stop. Movement separates dreamers from achievers. Sometimes forward means changing direction. Denzel explains that adjusting your path is not failure. It is wisdom. The goal is not to stay on one road forever but to keep moving toward growth. Flexibility keeps you alive, while stubbornness can keep you stuck. Momentum is powerful. Once you keep moving, even in small steps, you create energy. That energy builds confidence, and confidence fuels the next step. Denzel shows us that momentum is the secret to breaking through obstacles. One step leads to another, and soon you are running. When fear whispers that you cannot do it, movement is the best answer. Action silences fear faster than words. Denzel encourages us to act, even when afraid, because fear loses its power once we take the first step. the next steps become easier. The world often celebrates big victories, but Denzel reminds us to celebrate small steps. Every page written, every mile walked, every practice completed, these are victories too. They keep you moving forward until the bigger results arrive. Success is built from many small movements. At times, you may feel alone on your journey. But keep moving, because the right people will appear along the way. Mentors, friends, and supporters often meet us while we are in motion. If you stop, you may miss them. Movement attracts opportunity. Obstacles are not blocks to stop you but tests to strengthen you. Each time you face resistance, you build muscle. Just like in the gym, resistance creates growth. Denzel wants us to see obstacles as signs that we are building strength for the future. Failure is not the opposite of moving forward, it is part of moving forward. Each fall is a step in disguise. If you look closely, you will see that your greatest lessons came after your greatest failures. That is why movement is always valuable. Sometimes moving forward means slowing down. Resting is not quitting. Denzel reminds us that even while resting, you are still on the path. The key is to never turn back. A pause can refresh you, but quitting will end your journey. The most dangerous words are, "I will try tomorrow." Tomorrow becomes next week, then next year, and soon the dream is gone. Denzel warns us against delay. The best time to move is always now. Forward motion begins in the present moment. When we look back on life, the hardest moments often become the most meaningful. We remember the times we almost quit but didn't. Those memories become our trophies, proof that we endured. Denzel calls this the true reward of persistence. Moving forward also means leaving behind what no longer serves you. Old habits, toxic people, and negative thoughts are heavy baggage. To keep walking, you must travel light. Denzel urges us to let go of what holds us back so we can move freely. Forward movement builds self-respect. Each step you take gives you confidence. You start to see yourself as strong and capable. Denzel wants us to experience this pride, because it fuels even greater courage for the future. There will be critics along the way. They will say you are moving too slowly, or in the wrong direction. But critics are proof that you are on the path. People only throw stones at those who are going somewhere. Ignore them and keep walking. Success is not one giant leap, it is many small steps. Denzel explains that no one wakes up at the top of the mountain. They climb it step by step, sometimes crawling, sometimes stumbling, but always moving. The climb is what gives the summit its meaning. The habit of moving forward creates unstoppable people. Once you decide that quitting is not an option, you become powerful. Life cannot defeat someone who refuses to stop. This is the spirit Denzel wants us to carry every day. Your future self will thank you for the steps you take today. Every movement now is an investment in the person you are becoming. Denzel encourages us to imagine the future self and to keep walking for their sake. They are waiting for you at the end of the path. Some people think they need to feel motivated before moving, but motivation often comes after movement. Action creates energy. If you wait to feel ready, you may wait forever. Denzel urges us to move first, and the feelings will follow. The path forward will not always be clear. You may walk in fog, seeing only one step ahead. But if you keep taking that step, eventually the fog lifts. Denzel's message is to trust the process, even when the vision is blurry. Moving forward is also about persistence in small daily habits. Reading a little, practicing a little, saving a little, these actions compound over time. Denzel reminds us that greatness is built not from one moment, but from consistent forward habits. In the end, moving forward is about refusing to let fear, doubt, or failure stop you. It is about courage in motion. Denzel tells us that the journey will not be perfect, but it will be worth it. As long as you keep moving, you are already a success. So Chapter 3 leaves us with this truth: never stop. Keep walking, crawling, stumbling, whatever it takes. Forward is forward, no matter the speed. Denzel's voice reminds us that progress is not about how far you go in a day, but about never standing still. Chapter 4: Keep moving. Failure is not the end of the road but the beginning of understanding. Denzel Washington reminds us that every time we fall, life is trying to teach us something. If we listen, we discover truths that cannot be learned from success alone. Failure is the classroom where wisdom is born. One of the first lessons failure teaches is humility. When you fail, you realize that you are not invincible. This reminder softens the ego and opens the heart. Humility allows you to grow, because you accept that you still have more to learn. Failure also teaches resilience. Each time you rise after falling, you become stronger. Resilience is like armor that prepares you for bigger challenges ahead. Without failure, this armor would never be built, and you would remain fragile. Another lesson of failure is clarity. When something does not work, it reveals what truly matters. It clears away distractions and forces you to focus on what is essential. Denzel believes that failure sharpens your vision more than success does. Failure shows us the limits of our comfort zone. It proves that safety is not where growth happens. By falling, we learn how far we can go and how much further we must push. Without testing limits, we never discover our real capacity. Failure often reveals who truly supports us. In success, many people gather around, but in failure, the crowd disappears. Those who remain are the ones who care about us, not just our victories. Denzel teaches that failure filters relationships and shows us who is real. Failure also gives us empathy. When you fall, you understand what others feel when they struggle. This makes you kinder, more patient, and more compassionate. A heart that has failed is more capable of lifting others when they fall. One of the deepest lessons is that failure is temporary. In the moment, it feels permanent, but time shows us otherwise. Failures fade into the past, but the lessons remain. Denzel's words remind us that failure is never the final chapter unless you stop writing. Failure encourages creativity. When one path is blocked, you are forced to find another. This is where innovation begins. Many great discoveries were born from failure, because people refuse to stop searching for solutions. Failure also reveals your true passion. If you give up after failing once, maybe the dream was not strong enough. But if you keep going despite repeated setbacks, it proves that the dream is written into your soul. Passion survives failure. Another lesson is patience. Failure reminds us that success is not instant. It takes time, persistence, and endurance. In a world that wants quick results, failure slows us down and teaches us the beauty of the long road. Failure strips away fear. Once you have failed and survived, you realize it is not as deadly as you thought. You stop being controlled by the fear of falling, because you know you can stand again. Denzel's message is clear: freedom begins when fear loses power. Failure also reveals hidden strengths. When everything collapses, you discover abilities you never knew you had. Pressure awakens power. Many people only meet their true selves when they are forced to rise after falling. Every failure contains a hidden gift. Sometimes it is a new skill, sometimes a new perspective, sometimes a new opportunity. The pain may hide the gift at first, but with time, the treasure becomes clear. Denzel tells us to look for the gift in every fall. Failure teaches discipline. It forces you to work harder, to prepare better, and to stay focused. Without failure, you might take success for granted. Discipline born from failure makes future victories sustainable. Failure is also a mirror. It shows you who you are when things do not go your way. Do you quit, or do you rise? The reflection may be painful, but it is honest. Denzel reminds us that self-discovery is one of failure's greatest lessons. Sometimes failure redirects us. We think one path is correct, but failure shuts the door. At first, we feel lost, but later we see that the closed door saved us from the wrong destination. Failure can guide us toward where we truly belong. Failure also teaches gratitude. When you finally succeed after many attempts, you appreciate it more deeply. Easy victories feel light, but hard-earned victories stay in the heart forever. Gratitude grows in the soil of failure. Another lesson is that failure builds character. Success can make people proud, but failure shapes people into leaders. It develops patience, courage, and compassion, qualities that last longer than trophies or money. Failure also teaches perspective. It shows that one mistake does not define your entire life. You begin to see success and failure as moments, not identities. This balance keeps you steady, whether in victory or defeat. Failure can also spark community. When you share your struggles openly, others who failed feel less alone. This creates connection, healing, and encouragement. Denzel's own openness about rejection makes his audience trust him more deeply. Failure teaches endurance. The longer you persist, the more you realize that quitting is a choice, not a necessity. Every step after failure proves that endurance is stronger than disappointment. With endurance, even the hardest road becomes possible. Another lesson is courage. Each time you face failure and rise, your courage grows. Eventually, you stop fearing what comes next, because you know you can survive it. Courage built from failure is unshakable. Failure teaches us to separate effort from outcome. Sometimes you do everything right and still fall. This shows you that effort itself has value, even when results are delayed. You learn to honor the process, not just the prize. Failure also deepens faith. When plans collapse, you are forced to trust in something greater than yourself. This trust strengthens the spirit. Denzel believes faith and failure often walk together, building unbreakable souls. Failure reminds us that we are not alone. Everyone fails, even the heroes we admire. Realizing this gives us comfort and connection. We stop feeling broken and start feeling human. Shared failure builds shared humanity. Failure can break pride and replace it with wisdom. A proud heart refuses to listen, but a humbled heart becomes open. Wisdom grows fastest in the soil of humility. Denzel wants us to see wisdom as the real prize of failure. Failure also teaches responsibility. When we fall, we must own our mistakes instead of blaming others. This honesty gives us control. If we own the failure, we can also own the comeback. Responsibility turns pain into power. The final lesson is that failure is not your enemy, it is your guide. Every stumble points you toward a better path, a stronger self, and a deeper purpose. Denzel's voice reminds us that failure is a teacher, not a tombstone. If you learn, you have already won. So Chapter 4 leaves us with this truth: every failure is a lesson, every fall is a teacher. Do not run from failure. Welcome it, study it, and rise from it. Denzel's wisdom shows us that the greatest victories are born from the lessons of defeat. Thank you for watching Easy English Official. You have just heard how falling forward can open new doors, even when life feels heavy. Remember that mistakes are not the end of your journey, they are the beginning of something greater. If you fail, fail forward, because every fall means you are still moving ahead. If this video inspired you, don't stop here. Watch it again, share it with a friend, and join us for more powerful lessons in English and in life. Together, we can keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward. This is Easy English Official, helping you learn English and live with confidence, one story at a time.